Abir Rahim, the co-founder and director of Lean in Malaysia. So I did my degree in actuarial science in the UK, and then I pursued my master's at CAS Business School in actuarial management. I'm an actuary in a local takaful operator, which is an insurance company back in Malaysia. That's my full-time job that I do 9 to 5. But that at the same time, I co-found and direct the Lean in Malaysia Women organization platform in Malaysia. And also I have a side startup, which is my fashion label, my own fashion label brand, which is called Lisa and A. So these are the three things that I'm running.
My name is Sarah. I am a venture capitalist, and I actually fund startups, although in the bio-based sphere. So I work for Sime Darby, which is a Malaysian conglomerate with a 13 billion USD market cap. And we focus on commercializing interesting technology that are able to use sort of our raw materials. So even things from personal care, I was speaking to some of you who do personal care, even in the aquaculture space. So essentially bio-based technologies using our raw materials. So I do that for a living. At the same time, given the nature of my work, which is very male-dominated, I do the commercial negotiations, I do the deal structuring. I thought it would be quite necessary that I do something for the future of my daughters and my sons in the future, where I would like to see a more equal world where men are not judged for their choices, whether they want to be a chef or not, whether women want to, be the engineer out in the field. They can pursue whatever they want to, and that's really what drove me to co-found Lean in Malaysia, which is a women empowerment platform. We are working with Sheryl Sandberg, as Katrina nicely pointed out. We have just returned from America, where we were meeting with all the leaders from around the world on championing the women agenda to be advancing in leadership. So really excited to be here, to be speaking from multiple perspectives. Let me just first start with the landscape of women in Malaysia, which I think would be quite helpful for some of you. We make 53% of the labor force, and the culture is such that we're a Muslim country, so the majority are Muslim. They're men and women who are brought up in a society where by 22, 23, you should be married. You can't be seen to be too intimate, I would say, with the other partner, and it's expected as part of life. It's very much equated as part of success to be seen with a good family very early on, which means that what you see is as you go along, whilst women are getting more and more educated, we make 70% of the universities. The numbers just don't. 70% of universities are attended by women, and it's actually a global trend. All around the world, women are getting more and more educated, but this is just not translating into numbers in the higher spheres. So CEOs of the top 130 companies in Malaysia, only 5% are women. In senior management, it's about 24%. So you kind of see where women sort of drop out beyond 27, 28. They drop out from the workforce, start their families, and unfortunately, they don't come back. Whereas in Japan and Korea, if you had a graph, it would be an M shape. So women actually come back, but in Malaysia, because of ecosystem, because of cultural factors, a lot of cultural nuances come into play. And why we started Lean in Malaysia was we thought, hey, there's a lot of potential that we're losing out here. We always started from why. The why was a very big factor for us, and we were always driven by data. So we're a non-profit organization at the present time, but we are run like a company. Yeah. We are very goal-focused. If the why is not strong enough, we make sure that we get the necessary metrics and data to support that. So once you start from the why, you go into, okay, what do I do now? What is the market wanting? What is the demand that they're looking for? And for us, what we saw was a lot of women were very high potential, but were requiring that little sort of kick to push them over to become senior leaders themselves. And that's where we launched a program which we piloted. Because we're a non-profit, we don't have resources, right? We started from literally Abir and I putting 500 ringgit, that's about 5,000 baht each, to get videographers, because we wanted to show that we had samples, we can do stuff. So really go through what you have, like a SWOT analysis. And our weakness was we had no resources. It was just both of us. And then we grew from them. Okay, but what are our strengths? And they were that we were very well networked. We knew a lot of good people, and that's how we assembled our team.
That it's very important to get your brand out to the society to understand what you are selling. So in the first place, the questions that we get when we come out was, what is Lean in Malaysia? So when we started out, it was still ambiguous to what do we run, what are we fighting for? And we decided to come up with a one tagline, which is to empower women both personally and professionally. And then we had our objectives laid out, which is to address the high dropout rate of women back to the workforce and to push all of these women from the mid-management level to the C-suite level.
Depending on your market, in Malaysia, the masses still watch TV. I'll give you an idea. So I used to work in TV. In TV3, which is the local language, local TV, very different mindset. Like the local American TV you would have, the eyeballs would be 3 million. The English-speaking urban...
Can you just as a reference, how many million people are in Malaysia?
Okay, so there are about 30 million now, 29,
So
30, right?
Okay.
So that would be 10%. But the English-speaking urban channel, which is a very small sect of society, which is an important point for some of your products and services, by the way, because it's in English or it's a little bit more urban-minded, right? That's only 300,000 eyeballs. So it's a very big difference. So, TV is one of the ways that you can do it. We had a lot of press in the very beginning when we started, press conferences, things like that, which gave us some eyeballs, which helped. We had print as well. It's still, it's on the downtrend, but it's necessary for you to have the brands there, right? Like I was on Tatler, I was on Star or whatever the local different media outlets are. And of course, again, depending on your product, like Abir said, consistency is key. You want to make sure that you're promoting yourself in the right way. So Tatler is, I'm sure you have Tatler here as well, right? It's pretty elitist. But if you want to get funding and you want rich people to know of you, by all means, go to Tatler. But if you want to be seen as one of the people, right? One of the people that you can relate with your consumers and not be so intimidating, you would want to choose a different media outlet. So we did TV, we did print, but a big portion of what we do is social media. As Abir said, this is attributed to a very good team. We basically hired the different specialties that we needed. We needed to set up our organization legally properly. We brought in a lawyer to be part of our team. We needed a bank account. We got a banker as part of our team. My background's law, her background's actuarial, so it helps in certain ways as well. And we actually got a campaign manager in politics to run our PR. So she had the contacts, and also she knew how to manage the social media side of things. Stories are very important. For us, it was about, okay, how do I see... So our product is women empowerment, right? How do I see myself as a consumer taking this in as a product? I need to be able to relate to that. And stories are very popular these days. If you, Humans of New York, I'm sure you have Humans of Thailand, that touches the emotional chord, right? And you want to buy into that idea. But beyond that, there's always a little marketing behind that. So you want to be careful in your messaging. We do a lot of highlights on our own team members, so that it's not just our faces. We're here today, but we always mention the team because they're a big part of our success.